Good
afternoon,
afternoon,
Ponaganset. And we are back with the second annual WPHS Sports Report. As you can tell, I am not Milo Pesci. They are unfortunately not here, so I will be hosting this segment of the Sports Report. I would like to introduce Allison, who are we going to start with, who's going to be talking about boys and girls cross country.
Hello, I'm Alice Machado, and I'm covering boys and girls cross country. I would like to correct myself. Last week, I said both boys and girls qualified, but sadly, it was only girls. And I also want to correct myself once again on Will Quattrucci. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name. He was a freshman. I want to highlight him a little bit. He was a freshman who ran 5 kilometers in 18 minutes and 58 seconds.
Very impressive.
Yeah. We have some great highlights about him because it was his first 5K in the beginning of the year was 20 minutes and 50 seconds, so he improved by 2 minutes, which is impressive.
Wow.
He has been running since middle school and has been performing great. And this kind of progress takes true dedication, and from what I've heard, he really is big on putting work into cross country, and he trains and is very passionate. Our overall scoring I put on the screen because even though sadly our team didn't have much wasn't involved much, there still was great. We still had great competition, and they still did very good. At the state meet, he managed to push himself even further, obviously. And it was his new personal best, and what he accomplished, and he continues to accomplish with the junior team is amazing. With runners like Will showing this kind of determination, the future looks bright for our program, and I really
100%.
Yeah, I really want to see what next year brings, because sadly this state meet was unfortunately the end of our season, but we still did great other than our last meet.
I have a question. Do you happen to have the score that the girls got in their state meet?
I do not, but they did not place in the top 6, sadly.
Okay. Is that all you have to say? Or?
That is all I have to say today. I'm so sorry, but I do want to wish everyone on the boys and girls cross country an amazing year, and you guys did amazing.
Yeah, next year is definitely going to be a process season.
Yes.
So thank you, Allison. We are going on to girls soccer with Maddie. Hi, Maddie. How are we doing this afternoon?
Very well.
Yes. So I hear you're here talking about the girls soccer and their playoff matchup this weekend.
Unfortunately, we lost, but I hope we do a lot better next year too.
Yeah, because if you look at their season, they definitely had a pretty good season. But what I do see with that, this matchup was what I've seen the worst loss.
Yes.
But do you think that is just a anomaly, or did you notice anything in the game, or not
unfortunately, I was not able to go to the game.
Okay.
But I know it probably was a really hard time trying to get some goals, but yeah.
Yeah, you'll go to the playoffs. It's always hard. You start playing against the teams that are really good. I don't know if they played Westerly. I'm gonna do a quick check. They did not. So they were going into a game. Oh, I know they did, and they won last time. But okay. But still, going into playoffs, hard matchups. They definitely still have some talent on their team for next year, so you don't have to doubt that. Anything else you have to say?
Nope.
Okay. So next we'll be going into unified volleyball with Jade Hatzberger. All right, hi Jade.
Hello.
How are you doing this fine afternoon?
Doing very good. How about you?
Doing good. So, unified volleyball, you did some research, and I can fact check and say this is all right.
You are one of the players.
I am one of the players, yeah.
So from what I could see, I am hopefully going to get more information next week of like individual scores and like how players did. But overall, we've had a really good season of 4 wins to 2 losses. And then,
Yeah.
And then the championship game is this Saturday. Make sure you go.
You know who it's against?
I do not,
It is
unfortunately.
against Westerly, and that game is this Saturday at LaSalle. That is where it's at.
Make sure that you go.
Yeah, I think it's only one game at around 12 o'clock. So yeah, do you want to get a little bit into the season, or?
I don't really know that much, I'm going to be honest. That's why I'm hopefully going to have more information
Yeah.
next week. So hopefully I
Yeah.
can talk to the
I would
coach.
like just a quick opinion. So if you see our 2 losses in the season were against Coventry in 2 very close games. I would like the team Westerly, they beat Coventry. Should we be scared when coming into this matchup, or?
I'm going to say no because our team is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I agree. I don't know much about Westerly because RIL doesn't like to post their scores, but thank you. Is that all you have to say here?
On the next slide, I just have photos of all the players.
Okay. Yeah, some beautiful pictures right here.
I tried to highlight everyone that I could.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I understand.
But yeah,
All right, that's it. Well, thank you very much, Jade.
thank you for
We'll see you
having me.
You're welcome. Amber is not here. I know, very sad. Cried this morning. But we'd like to give a quick playoff recap of how their playoffs went. So, the volleyball semifinals were versus Central Falls, that was last Thursday at Cranston East. They started off falling behind 1-0, but then came back to win 3-1. Very impressive game, and that game brought them into the championship against Tolman. And before I get into that, I will say Gray was right with the score. Love to see it. But then finals against Tolman, unfortunately they lost 3-1. They had a great season, however. So we'd like to also highlight the important people, the important seniors, actually all of the seniors on that varsity roster. So these people, very important in the team. So Rebecca Kelman, Isabel Shields, Cecilia Orlando, Madison Gonzalez, Jillian Barris, Ava DeFori, Abby Lewis, and Caitlin Campbell, who was nominated for MVP. We'd like to congratulate all of you on the amazing season that you've had. And by myself again, because I'm hosting this time, football. So we're going to start off with the game recap. The Ponaganset Chieftains absolutely destroyed the North Providence Cougars 53-19. I can't even count the deficit that is, about 34 points. So very good game, very impressive game. And that is leading us into our divisional matchup, which is against the Pilgrim Patriots, who we did play 2 weeks ago and we did destroy. So a little bit of momentum, definitely have momentum from the week before. And to mention that, that is Friday the 15th at 7 o'clock p.m., unfortunately at Pilgrim. They were a point away from it being a home game, but whatever. And a couple quick things that I'd like to mention before going into the game of what needs to happen if we want to make it to the Super Bowl, which, yes, if we win this game, we make it to the Super Bowl. Love that it's called that. So on offense, I don't know where it is on the screen, but the left side, there's 3 offensive things and 2 defensive things that I want to mention. On offense, keep the clock running, because what we noticed last time in most of our games, we get a lot of points and they have to make it up for that. We trail very little after the first quarter. So as long as we keep the clock running by running and stuff, not allowing any turnovers, they're not going to be able to get those points back. Then execute and take advantage of opportunities. We can't run all game. They'll pick up on that. There'll be times where you want to pass, be times on defense especially where there'll be certain stops that you're going to need. Execute, take advantage of those, we will win. And then on defense, 2 things that I learned as a football player before. Don't get beat deep. That's how they're going to need to air the ball out in order to score points, because they cannot run that much. And avoid special teams collapses. We did allow a return touchdown, I think, last game. So that's that. And the last thing I'm going to mention, you see the little playoff bracket right here. if we win, we'll be playing against the winner of Classical versus Rogers. So looking forward to that. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for showing to the Ponaganset Sports Report. Jimmy Fashion, signing off. See you next week.